नमस्कार, मैं हूं समर कुमार. We were just talking about it, whether it is 12th Fail or Sector 36 or even Sabarmati Report. Most people around me told me not to do these films. I mean, there is stress. I'm not denying that. I have a severe backache because of stress.
My first reaction was I will not do this film because for any actor, I think it takes immense courage to take this film head on and become a part of it.
I think as we know, it's based on a true incident and it's a true tragedy. So we, of course, had the advantage of all the information that's already out there. Journalism is not about facts, it's about processes and protocols. What does that mean? That's system.
फिल्म का डायलॉग है, मैं हिंदी में बोलूँगा कि इस देश की जनता मीडिया की तरफ सच जानने के लिए देखती है और वही मीडिया जनता को सच बताने से पहले अपने ऊपर बैठे मालिकों की तरफ देखती है.
हमारा देश पूरे विश्व में सबसे बड़ी डेमोक्रेसी है जज साहब. आज का हिंदुस्तान जवाब देना भी जानता है और सवाल पूछना भी जानता है.
Vikrant, my question was, what I was trying to ask you was, say if this film came 4 years ago, perhaps the stakes for you were not
as high. Oh, fair enough. Absolutely.
Now you're on such a high.
Absolutely.
Would that cause any trepidation, any more trepidation than it otherwise would have?
I mean, yeah, you could say that. But I was aware of the fact, that I'm doing this film after 12th Fail or, 12th Fail had already seen what it had to see or what was written in its destiny. But you really cannot sort of take such decisions which actually stem from your heart, calculating and evaluating as to what it's going to do to my brand or what it's going to do. In fact, on the contrary, we were just talking about it, whether it is 12th Fail or Sector 36 or even Sabarmati Report. Most people around me told me not to do these films. And I chose to do them.
I can actually understand why they're done for each film, yes. But also, for all actors, generally, when you are going through your career, at some stage, of course, you want to go with the flow and choose what's coming towards you, but also it is a game of chess. You want to pick the roles, the films that might catapult you to the next level, or even if you don't want to, it's not the next level numbers game, but you want to reach a certain audience. But in that game of chess, could this not be something that might cause stress?
I mean, there is stress. I'm not denying that. I have a severe backache because of stress. But I've always been this way. For me, what matters most is the archival value of the film or the intention of the film.
That is a fantastic
point. What am I adding to those people who've given me everything that I have today? And this definitely is one story which I wanted to tell, despite the fact that it could go either way. I'm not really worried about that.
We will talk more about that as well, of course. But Raashii, you actually started your career with a film that had a similar chance to polarize people. So, in many ways, you're Madras Cafe. So you're returning to familiar territory in some ways. But yeah, how did you approach this film when this came to you? What was in your mind, basically?
My first reaction was I will not do this film. And I don't blame myself today because for any actor, I think it takes immense courage to take this film head on and become a part of it. I think I got my courage from Vikrant because he had signed on the film first. And when he told me that Sabarmati had come to him, my first reaction was like, have you lost it? Why will you do this film? And he was like, don't judge this by the cover. Read, understand. And I gave it a shot. I read the script. I read the material. I read the research that was given to us. We researched the research also as actors. And we came to the conclusion that people, I think just like us, like we actors prejudged the film. I think the audience today is doing sort of the same thing where they're prejudging the film and forming their opinions, which is not wrong at all because it's a very sensitive subject. But as Vikrant said, they should just give the film a fair chance and watch it after it releases and have opinions after it releases. And then we're just there to talk to you about wherever the tide goes. But yes, there is a certain sense of nervousness and there is a certain sense of fear that I had back then before I signed the film because I was like, this, as Vikrant said, this could go anywhere, but the intention is very right. And I've seen the film. I don't know if you guys have seen it. I have seen the film and I don't think there is any reason to be afraid anymore.
And Ridhi, I think on a slightly different tangent, ever since Lakshya and Preeti Zinta's role in that as a journalist, these are certain things that come to mind. So, especially you're playing an English language journalist. So, what were your reference points? Who were you kind of, if not basing your performance on, what were your reference points that you drew from?
I think, as we know, it's based on a true incident and it's a true tragedy. So we, of course, had the advantage of all the information that's already out there. We knew exactly what the media houses presented to us through their channels, and we saw all of it. So I guess everybody who was out there is represented in this story. There are stories we've taken from facts, from data that's available to us, from the said incident, from the time period that we are showing in the film. So it is a showcase of everything that actually happened. There's nothing that we can't go beyond reality in this film. We don't have that liberty at all.
And also one thing I would want to add, which she definitely sort of worked very hard on, is that she actually does not represent one person per se. Yeah. She's representative of an entire system at that point in time.
That's very important for, that's something that I'm constantly being, like I'm trying to make people aware of that, because I'm also an audience and I also watch films and I also see a lot of what happens through everything, including films. So when I'm saying this to an audience, or when Vikrant is saying this, what we're trying to say is, please don't look at it as just one person, or just, one person did this, or four, journalists did this. It's very important for us to understand. And even in the trailer that's come out, I'm actually saying to him, journalism is not about facts, it's about processes and protocols. What does that mean? That's a system, So it's very important to
but one person can embody the system.
No,
as well.
I mean, we are embodying, you have to embody it because it's a film. It's a 2.5 hour film. But we can get into that also. You can get into the whole system.
But metaphorically speaking, she is representing the system. She is representing that doe-eyed young aspirant who really sort of wants to, try her luck, or
that's Raashii's character.
That's Raashii's character.
Yes.
Yeah. So metaphorically
and he's
speaking,
representing the common man's angst and what they are feeling.
So apart from the nature of the film or the content, also the one thing I could sense from the trailer was that it is, first of all, it is not a documentary. It is not a boring, dry, grim take. There is an attempt to infuse some humor into this. There is an attempt to exactly and package this as a thriller, as a gripping film. So a couple of things. I mean, ideally, I'd have loved to ask this to the director of the film, but so what responsibilities and also what choices would you make when you are dramatizing something so tragic and so real? What choices would you make there, and what would you not make there?
You guys want to take this?
I think at the end of the day, it is a commercial film.
Exactly.
So you can't show it in a documentary format because people will not.
But you also can't.
Yes. So the only liberty we've taken is in the way the characters have been written, or the way we are performing those characters. Is why there's a certain humor to Samar's character in the film, which you will see, which is very important, because otherwise it will feel very grim and very hard hitting, which you don't want. Of course, you want them to know what happened, but you don't want them to be heavy-hearted throughout the film. You don't want it to be very heavy, is why these elements of humor have been added.
Also, again, one other thing from the trailer that is evident is that this is a film where perhaps there is no attempt made whatsoever to kind of play coy with the truth, as the dialogue you mentioned. So now, truth itself, in an ideal world, when you say that the truth has been hidden, and yet that should have been the end of the story. But now, in the world we live in, after social media, in the post-truth world, let's say, truth is weaponized, and the concept of truth is weaponized. So what is truth and what is not truth? What is the mistruth? So using this to circle back to what you said earlier about the role of the media. So I just want to ask you one thing, Vikrant, because in many ways you embody as you said, the angst of the common man. So as much as the fourth pillar is trying to push something down our throats, why are we consuming that? Why is that selling? Why do we not seem to reject that?
That is such a
Nobody
nice
asks
question.
this question. The question that you're asking,
That is
everyone
such a
should
good
be
question.
asking this question to themselves.
It is because we are all voyeuristic in nature. We like watching people fight in the middle of the street and record them from our phones. We watch reality shows because of this. It is a part of our DNA. It is an intrinsic part of our identity. We are all voyeuristic in nature. Most people's representatives, forgetting that the country is watching them, and they go out there and entertain us, and people are watching it. And that is the sad reality of.
So perhaps we also have to look within. why we
Absolutely, the
yeah,
change begins
yeah,
within.
exactly.
Yeah, I really loved the fact that, as Ridhi said, nobody's asked us this question. It is because it sells,
Exactly.
and it sells because it's within us.
Yeah.
Because it's
Catch
within us.
22.
Yeah.
I mean, we come from a background of television, so we understand this language very well. You know what sells, and you see
Exactly.
TRPs,
Yes,
and you see
yes.
ratings, and we have been. There have been times when we wanted to do, honestly, we wanted to do better work, but it doesn't get picked up. People like to watch drama, and they want things to be over the top, and you're like, okay, that's what they want.
Well, here's hoping films like this can also sell.
We hope so.
We hope so.
And wishing you the best of luck, all of you.
Thank
Thank you so much for your time, Vikrant, Raashii. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Okay.